Good afternoon, people. I hopefully that everybody is enjoying a good moment today. But right now, we have a lecture from Bhagavad Gita series, chapter 3, text 16, titled Karma Yoga, Action with Krishna Consciousness. Translation. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifices disestablished by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. Purpose by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Manmonist philosophy of work very hard and enjoy sense gratification is condemned herein by the Lord. Therefore, for those who want to enjoy this material world, the above mentioned cycle of performing yagas is absolutely necessary. One who does not follow such regulation is living a very risky life, being condemned more and more. By nature's law, this human form of life is specifically meant for self-realization in either of the three ways, namely Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga. There is no necessity of rigidly following the performances of the prescribed yagas for the transcendentalists who are above vice and virtue, but those who are engaged in sense gratification require purification by the above mentioned cycle of yagya performances. There are different kinds of activities. Those who are not Krishna conscious are certainly engaged in sensory consciousness. Therefore, they need to execute pious work. The Jagya system is planned in such a way that sensory conscious person may satisfy their desire without becoming entangled in the reaction of sense gratificatory work. The prosperity of the world depends not on our own efforts but on the background arrangement of the Supreme Lord directly carried out by the demigods. Therefore, the yagyas are directly aimed at the particular demigods mentioned in the Vedas. Indirectly, it is the practice of Krishna consciousness because when one masters the performance of yagyas, one is sure to become Krishna conscious. But if by performing yagyas one does not become Krishna conscious, such principles are counted as only moral codes. One should not therefore limit his progress only to the point of moral codes, but should transcend them to attain Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness. Okay, people. Very wonderful verse today. Um, Srila Prabhupada is saying in that description in this verse 16 of Karma Yoga, that the aims of all yagyas is to become Krishna consciousness. In other words, become the body of the of the of the owner of all yagyas, that is the supreme person, that is the supreme personality of Godhead, the Lord Sri Krishna, or like I was mentioning in verses before, Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. But uh, through all these yagyas that are performed, principally for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Therefore, all the demigods are satisfying, and like a result, all material nature is uh, is satisfied, and like a result, all products of this natural nature uh, are given and are nutritious and are uh, flourishing in one way very positive according this kind of yagya. But in other words, all jagyas before mentioning in other verses was performing before, but in this age of Kali Yuga, the only jagya that is recommended is the Harinam Sankirtan jagya, or that is based in that is basically in hearing and chanting the holy name of God. Not only in the Vedas, like the ancient scriptures, but in other scriptures is mentioned too that the sacrifice of the worship of God in these times is according the worship the holy name of God, or chant the holy name of God and hearing the name of God. Always the name of God can be worshipped, can be remembered. That's all scripture saying the same point, and this is very interesting. But because through remember always the holy name of the Lord, what our consciousness can fix in that way, and one can remember that name of the Lord that is not different of the Lord at the time of death. Therefore, and that's like a result is the success in this human form of life, like Srila Prabhupada is saying very frequently. Okay, that is that I can understand by the moment. Thank you everybody for always be with me, together to me, and paying attention to all these lectures from Bhagavad Gita, the great example of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much, I appreciate, and I wish you for everybody that pass a good time in this afternoon time. Okay, Hare Krishna, goodbye.